Did you just get your property tax evaluation in the mail? And were you shocked? Are you wondering what you can do about it? I've had several people reach out for help, and this video is to offer those real estate homeowners here in Colorado an insight into the background, the options, and the process in case you decide to appeal your new value. I'm also sharing some helpful calculations so you can determine your new tax bill, and of course, I'm offering assistance if you're ready to appeal that value. And depending on how much you want to geek out and learn about this, I'm also going to include some resources down below for you. So let's get started. Oh, and I'm Cher Revolinski with eXp Realty. I'm a realtor here in the Denver area, and I love educating my clients and helping them navigate this sometimes crazy world of real estate. So be sure to watch and subscribe to be part of our series. As I've shared a few weeks ago, our Denver metro real estate values have significantly increased in the past few years, on average about 44% across our cities. And this tax increase is one of the largest in 40 years. Here in Colorado, we have the lowest property tax rate in the country. Well, it's not the very lowest, but we're pretty darn close. And we need those funds to support our education, our schools, our mental health facilities, our law enforcement, and in fact, it's one of the reasons why Colorado was first to market with legalizing marijuana. That was to create more tax income. And I don't know about you, but I don't mind funding our schools, and I sure would like to support our law enforcement in any way possible. So in my mind, I'm going to pretend I'm writing this extra check to the blue, as that will make me feel a little bit better. So property taxes are on the rise. The 2023 Real Property Notice of Valuation just came in. It looks like this little card. It's a postcard, and it will tell you what your current value is, what your previous value was, and the change in that value. So were you shocked? I know I was. And if you're like most homeowners, you're left wondering, what does this actual value of my home mean to me? What the postcard won't tell you is what your actual tax bill is going to be. That notice won't come out clear until the fourth quarter this year. But in this video, I'll show you how you can calculate that number. So this card just tells you what the county considers the value of your home to be. So let's walk through how to calculate your tax changes in a way that actually makes sense. Are you ready? Step 1, grab your notice. Hang on, I'll wait. Everyone should have received their property notice of valuation in the mail. There may be slight variations from county to county, but most will look like this example. And in this one, I'm using a property in Douglas County, and each county will be slightly different, so keep that in mind. Step 2, determine if the actual value is appropriate. We can all agree that home values have gone up over the last 2 years, quite substantially in fact. At the time of this assessment, we were at our peak of pricing. So it is a bit painful right now. And reassessments happen every odd year. So this assessment is actually looking back at the previous 2 years, July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2022. And we all know the market was in a frenzy during most of that period. As a bit of education, home values are based on homes sold or refinanced or new builds being completed that are nearby to you and similar to yours in features and style. And crafting a home value is a science and a bit of an art. I'm sure you've seen examples of homes selling way over or under even what Zillow said the value was. And that's why a real estate agent is necessary for determining your value, especially when it comes to a selling price. But back to the county assessment. Obviously, the county doesn't do a full appraisal, and they don't hire a real estate agent for each home. So your value may have gone up because of improvements, renovations, etc. that your neighbor did. And if they sold for a high price, your value came up. You don't have to laugh a little bit here, as we all may be a little bit hypocritical. I'm sure you appreciated your value raising if you're thinking about selling, as it will increase your profit. But paying taxes on an unrealized gain feels a bit different, doesn't it? At least that's how I feel. But here's where you need to listen. For example, if your home hasn't been renovated recently, but was valued based on a neighboring home that was recently gutted, updated, or remodeled, you may have room to protest your value. But don't delay. Protesting the value is best done sooner than later. Each county has a cutoff date to submit the protest. For most counties here in Denver, it's around June 1st, first week of June, which is right around the corner. The date should be noted on your property notice of valuation. Fill out the appeal provided with the notice and submit it. And an appeal could be submitted mail or in person or online. And as your trusted real estate agent, I can provide insight to help you. This video will educate you on the process, and I can also help you validate your value as of June 30th, 2022, which was the end of their assessment period. I'll give you an idea of whether you stand a chance with the appeal, and I can also share comps and documentations that can help support your dispute if you choose to go that route. So step 3 is find the county property tax rate and mill levy. Let's get to calculating the tax amount. There are 2 numbers needed to figure out how much the actual property tax is increased: the property tax rate and the mill levy. The tax rate should be noted on that notice. And for Douglas County, for example, mine is 6.77. The mill levy might be a little harder to find, but it's listed on every county website. On the Douglas County website, there's districts and mill levies, and the rates are all slightly different, so just pay attention. Again, I'll provide the links to Douglas County pages to help you in the description. But let's just use the one from my district, which was 80.656. So let's calculate. Multiply the current actual value times the assessment rate to get the new assessed value. This will be the amount you're taxed on. For example, the assessed value, let's say 907,713 times 0677 is 61,000. Then take the assessed value and multiply times the mill levy divided by 1,000. This is the new annual property tax amount. In this example, that comes out to be $49,056. That's the new annual taxes. You can compare the new tax amount to your past tax amount, and past tax amounts can be found on the past loan statements or searching your county's tax assessor website. For the example, the property previously was $3,588. And if you subtract that and divide by 12, this will be the new monthly amount the homeowner's tax bill just changed by. In this example, it turns out to be a roughly $114 increase every month. So now what? Did you follow along? I know that was a lot. I'll outline the steps in the description, as I realize this may be hard for you to follow in a video. But once you calculate your increase, you can decide if you feel it's large enough to dispute, or maybe it feels appropriate given the rise in values. As soon as you get this value and make your decision about whether you think it's fair, you can protest the value. That's the first step, and there will be instructions on the card on how to do that. Every county is a little bit different, so I can't tell you what the protest instructions exactly are, but the instructions will vary by county, so just look that up. Be sure to look at your date, though. It's likely sometime around the first week of June. If you're going to protest, I recommend doing it sooner rather than later. I think the counties will have their hands full, and as the deadline draws near, you may get in a pinch. And also, if you're going to protest, you'll need data to support you. And it's a pretty tedious process for any realtor to analyze a property, so just keep that in mind. The most actionable thing you can do right now is to make a note of any deficiencies you think your home has in comparison to your neighbors. Bring that to the attention of your county tax assessor. So just make a list, write it up, and evaluate everything that might be deficient. Like maybe you don't have a finished basement, or your backyard is in disrepair. Bring up the things that you think might devalue and create a lower value than what's noted on that property tax valuation. Anything that you can think of. But don't go using a comp that's from earlier this year, because that's just too recent. Remember, this was 2 years ago for these values. This has to be done for the previous 2 years, so you're going to probably need some help. After you submit your appeal, your county will respond. Douglas County has a second appeal deadline of September 15th, and if you still don't agree with their assessment decision after your appeal, the good news is that you have some time. A little time to prepare for an appeal, and several months before the rates will take effect. But just keep in mind, this may create a shortage in your escrow account if your mortgage is used to pay that taxes. So be prepared that you may need to send a little extra in order to pay your tax bill next spring. Because remember, taxes are paid in arrears, which means the taxes we are paying right now are actually 2022's taxes. So this new increase will be due in spring of 2023. Now, if you're already feeling strapped by your payments, or you've had a life change that's causing you to consider a move, let's talk. I'm happy to help evaluate your specific situation and offer some insights. Oh, and don't forget, if you're a senior, age 65 and older, and you've been in your home for 10 years, there are some tax exemptions that can help offset some of this increase. So comment or call. I'm always available to help. Cher Revolinski, eXp Realty, 303-884-2738. Talk to you soon.